Hello, hope y'all are all doing excellent. It's November 1st, and today I'm going to be talking about an upcoming severe weather event later this week. Uh, got a good bit to talk about, so I'll go ahead and get into it in just a second. First of all, I just want to kind of have a little bit of not anything important. I'm just going to say, I want to make these videos a little bit better. Uh, as you know, a lot of videos I do on this channel are kind of just a lot of the thumbnails are just bad and stuff. I mean, I'm trying to make my videos better quality. So what I hope to do to plan, or some stuff that's gonna change is I may not upload every day. A lot of times when there's not a whole lot of stuff going on. Uh, on like weeks where there's like back to back day like severe weather events and stuff, or like just a lot to talk about like this week. Then yeah, I mean, videos every day will be more of a thing. And also have like shorter. The videos will be a little bit like less like worse quality, because the bigger deal is just about getting like information out, like closer towards these events. Like I mean like the day of. So yeah, that's just a little bit of news. And if you don't mind, if you like these videos, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Uh, if you like the videos and you like to, or if you just like weather. Uh, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So this is our day 3 convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. This is for Thursday. Excuse me. We're looking at the slight risk from portions of the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma Panhandle and western Oklahoma, and into a good portion of like central Kansas there. Uh, and let's go ahead and talk about this day. So we're looking at the NAM3 model. Okay, this is actually, let's take a look at dew points. This is the setup earlier in the day. This is about noon. Let's just go with noon. We can see it looks like we have the setup we have is we have a low, I guess, about right there. It looks like we have a front connect. I think there's another low further to the south. And we have another. It's kind of along a front. This front is going to be pushing southeast, and it's going to be getting more. As we see moisture, like more moisture rise, we can see how it's going to be getting more sharp as we go into Friday night. A very sharp dew point cutoff right there on the NAM3. Which there is some interesting stuff that happens with the NAM3. We're going to get into that in just a second, because it is a pretty it's a big deal. But we can see right around the low, we have this is prime hour for severe weather pretty much. This is 6 to 7. This is 7. No, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, so it should be 6 Central. Yeah, my bad. And next week this will be 5 Central. So because the time changes, I'm pretty sure on Saturday or Sunday. It might be next week. It might be the week after. I don't think so. I think it's always like the first week in November. A little bit off topic there, but yeah. So we can see we have a pretty kind of a triple point setup. Not really though, considering this is a cold front that is pushing south as well. A little bit of a weird triple point setup that we don't normally see. I mean, this could be acting like it's almost like a warm front. Taking some soundings, there's a few things that are a problem, of course, that we can see here, and that's this little cooler air towards the surface, and the fact that we have zero instability and just around negative 530 surface CIN. Just a little bit of capping there at the surface. Okay, that's a lot of capping. I'll just tell you that. That's an insane amount of capping. I mean, even as we go into like O3Z, that area, right around that area, that just doesn't clear out with that capping in the NAM3. It's been such a problem this year. Like, once again, it looks like capping is going to be a problem. It's so disappointing. We just can't get like one clear event without capping this year, it seems. Further to the south, though, which we're going to take a look at other models in a second, by the way. But further to the south, we take a sounding in let's take a sounding right here. Actually, we'll take several soundings. We'll take one there, one there. Sample that area in western Kansas, and then maybe up into Nebraska. So we'll start off in Texas here. I forgot how am I going to get rid of that. All right, I guess I'm just going to have to get rid of it. Yeah, we can see, I mean, that environment's not perfect, not perfect. Further north in like kind of western Oklahoma, still have that capping in place. I mean, the environment's okay. We have like decent shear and stuff. I mean, there would be a tornado threat if we had instability and like a little bit less capping on the NAM3 here. Taking a look at mixed layers CIN Thursday. This just shows like overall. Yeah, we can see we have a lot of capping. Uh, that'll be prohibiting our severe weather threat potentially on the NAM3 there. That's the big problem on the NAM3 is that capping. Now let's take a look at some other models. The NAM3 is not the only model. It's not the only model that we're gonna look at. Is there any other models that would go out far enough? Okay, we're not looking at the FV3. I'm not even gonna look at that because it's always annoying because of the stupid stuff it has. You can look at the RDPS. I mean, I don't really use this model, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm not completely sure how this model like is when it comes to severe weather, but a very similar setup. We can see 60 dews. We can get up into like a good portion of Kansas there. It's not going that. The capping is definitely not as big of a deal. Looking at this model, looking at the RDPS, it's not as big of a deal. Actually, yeah, some of these soundings down into like this area here, not bad at all. Like southern Kansas. I mean, yeah, this is not a bad sounding on the RDPS here. Decent shear. It's a little on the lower side, like a 5 Tor, not bad. A good bit of ML cape, a little bit of like a decent, like a low amount of surface cape, but it's fine. I mean, that's doable. 1,000. I mean, it's pretty. I'm not gonna say it's pretty good, but you can, that's not a problem. Once again, the capping is a lot less than on NAM3. It's just something to note. I'd say the NAM3 is a little bit more of a better model than the RDPS. I know that for sure. So I'd say it's a little more credible, but it's good looking at this though, because this is like the same setup practically. It is the same setup. It pretty much has like the low in the same position, the same fronts, but it's just there's not a whole lot of capping. So that's that. Looking at the GFS, just for fun here. We can see a similar setup, although the front is a lot more sharp early on. I mean, there's a not more sharp. It's like there's a much more like quick cutoff with that moisture. You can see the low right there. Of course, Epic Pen had to do that again. Also maybe a little further east, I'd say, but practically the same area. So the area of Oklahoma, I mean, then the GFS does not look bad actually. That's like a 5 Tor, slight risk. Yep, easy slight risk. I mean, I'm really just by looking at. I mean, this I'd say, not that area. Really, this area here is starting to look pretty good. Now further to the north, like up towards our triple point, yeah, the shear is a little better, but we start to lose the thermodynamics start to get worse. We start to lose, instability, that type of stuff. So tornado threat would exist up into this area, but it would be a little lower. Now, I mean, when I say that though, that doesn't mean like if we see, for example, like one tornado, it doesn't mean that tornado is just gonna happen here. It could happen here as well. Of course, because I mean, the models don't completely forecast everything that's gonna happen, and nothing ever actually plays out according to the models, because we can't just. I mean, really, like, yeah, the models don't just predict everything the way it happens. That's why they're called models. So for that reason, man. I mean, this area could just be like the best area to produce. Really, I don't think it will be though. For sure, I'm quite positive by looking at these. I think this area down here has the best chance as of right now. Like southern Kansas, northern Oklahoma, that area. Kind of the area I'm watching. So that is Thursday. Just a little overview of Thursday. Pretty long overview of Thursday. Now looking towards Friday, so we have a 15% risk for good, like a lot of Texas there, a lot of Oklahoma too, and a little bit of southern Kansas. So pretty much just like similar areas or further. It's just pretty much slided. It's just pretty much slid southeast. Like yeah, it's exactly what's happening. So let's switch sectors here to be a little bit further south. So yeah, so we can see just how this kind of plays into like overnight. Could be an overnight severe threat could exist. Also, something to note on the NAM3, I forgot to say this, is it literally shows like not one storm all the way until after midnight on Thursday. There's not one storm. So I don't really know what to like think of this, but it's because of the capping. That's definitely why. But we're gonna see. I mean, this is interesting to say the least, considering what the other models have. So if the GFS happens, we see a little bit maybe of an overnight severe threat along that front. And Friday, we mean see very rich air. I mean, just 70 dews going all the way up almost to like, not Dallas Fort Worth really. Dallas Fort Worth like mid 60s dews, maybe upper 60s, like further like in the southeast side of town. But then you have to go a little further south, down to like, I think it's like the Waco area, 70s, yeah. And yeah, I mean, just taking some soundings, like take one in eastern Oklahoma, or a little further. Let's take one earlier in the day. Not bad. Definitely more of like a damaging wind threat. This is more of like a low end slight maybe right there with that sounding. Down into Texas though, I don't think our tornado threat Friday will be as significant. It will exist though, for sure. And now if Thursday happens like the NAM3 or tornado threat on Friday, could definitely be could be greater. But just looking at the GFS, it doesn't look as good as Thursday, and also the setup is clearly not as good. We do start to see like maybe another surface low develop along that boundary though, so we'll see if that can like interact if anything. And yeah, I mean that shear is pretty. Yeah, shear is good actually. I'm not gonna lie, like that does look better than what we see on Thursday. So we'll see. I mean Thursday and Friday both look like our biggest event we could potentially see. We haven't seen in a while. This is further south in Texas. This is pushing like mid, higher, and slight here. This is pretty nice. I mean, we can see nice Hodo. Got a good bit of instability there. You know, about a little over 1,000, about 1,500 ml cape. Barely any capping. Just a little bit towards the surface. Not a problem at all. I mean, this is a pretty good sounding. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this is damaging wind and tornadoes right there. So, I mean, Friday definitely does look interesting. I'm thinking across East Texas. So yeah, I mean, like that area right there, I'd say. Just by looking at the GFS, if we take a look at the European, had to go back to the 12Z. Pretty similar thing. We see a surface low develop up towards like northeast Oklahoma though, which let's take a look. See, yeah, the shear is pretty good. I mean, that shear is good. So definitely, I think wherever we see that surface low develop, whether it be here, that's kind of like going to be the northern point of our like increased tornado threat on Friday. So wherever we see that though, which we don't really know for sure now. Because of because the models kind of disagree, but as we get closer, we could see where it actually will like form, and then we can understand like where our tornado threat will be by Friday. But I'm kind of thinking like blending these two to be highest tornado threats kind of that area. So yeah, that's both Thursday and Friday. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. A little bit longer I think than normal, but yeah, I hope y'all have a great day tomorrow. And I should be back tomorrow. But yeah, goodbye.